So in the previous video, I talked about setting up uh, the rubric and basically how you could use it. So like in a converting session or meeting individually with a student, or you could use it as just a formative assessment along the way. Some of the powerful pieces, though, I think of for all rubrics is analyzing and also just the ongoing multiple opportunities for you to assess the student using the same rubric and then choosing which one you want to publish. So what I have over on this side of the page is I've taken, and this student I filled out the summary um, rubric for them multiple times, and I'll show you here in a little bit how you can even have the student self-assess themselves or have them peer assess another student. But one of the cool features is that you can basically fill out the rubric multiple times, but publish maybe that final one. So you're giving them feedback along the way. So you can publish it and allow them to see where they're at, and then unpublish it if they, for example, decide that you continue to fill it out and you have you want to take that final one that becomes then that summative assessment, but use it almost as a formative assessment tool, and more importantly, a guide for the student to know here's how I need to work my way to mastery of this particular skill. So this is just kind of as you fill out the rubrics, each time you click plus and fill out the rubric, you're going to get one of these that appear, and they'll have the percentages, and then you can publish or unpublish those results. And you'll see this one was a student filling it out for themselves. Now, if I come up to analyze, I think this is one of the powerful tools of 4All rubrics. Basically, you can have access to all of these reports. Some of my favorites are just even the rubric standards report. So I filled out, I connected it with a standard, and what that does then is it shows their average score from the rubric, but also more importantly though, it shows specifically their average for that standard. So let's say I was working towards mastery and that student, I had filled that out on them multiple times in our meetings, and they still consistently were achieving that level 2. So they weren't up to proficiency where we want them. So what's happening then is this is green now that they have met that level. So it allows you to kind of track your entire class and be able to pull small groups according to the rubrics as you fill them out. Another piece, if I come back to analyze, I can get specific. So if I come over to my class report or even a student report, I basically would get each of the rubrics that I have, and it would say each individual time I filled it out, but then the overall average. So this is a way that allows you to take each time that you filled it out and kind of see over time how that student is doing. And I can do that again for my class. So another way that you can easily use this data to pick students that need reteaching and quickly make instructional decisions with this. I think one of the other powerful features over on the right-hand side is I have my student signed in, and I found that you can use the student email addresses that all of our students have, K-12. Now K-6 don't actually have an email address, but it would recognize it as an email address and I think allow you to make an account for them. So that would be a way that you could connect this student to their account, which is really slick because now if I come to my journal as a student, I can see basically each time you get a rubric filled out, you get a badge, and you can actually specify what category they have to be in to get a badge. So you can have it set that they have to get a certain number of points on the rubric, or if it's just one section, you would say they have to get a 4. So they have to complete mastery, and then they would get a badge for that, which is really cool, and it puts a little gamification spin on their learning and kind of getting a mastery badge for it. Another cool piece is that you can actually as a student say I want to view the rubric result that my teacher filled out. So I can click on it and I can see where I landed, what I need to do to get here. I can also, I think this is probably my favorite part of it, is if I come back, I can add a comment on here saying, I plan to work on tracking my thinking while reading and checking in with you next Friday. So I can leave this comment, and that comment then will show up for the teacher. So the teacher will be able to see that comment that was assigned with that rubric piece, which is really cool. You can go back through and also see the badges that I've earned. So I can see the different badges I as a student have earned. Another cool piece is that notice that that summary one, you have not completed that one. So I can actually work towards completing a certain badge, so that mastery piece, which is kind of a fun way to motivate students. Another way is that I can self and peer assess students. So if I want to click on me and I can say, yep, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select that badge. And what I'm going to do then is fill out that rubric. So I'm going to self-assess myself and say, you know what, I really feel I am at that 3 and click done. And it will show that I self-assess myself. Another way that you can do it is you can peer assess other classmates. So you can go in and say, yep, I want to give them this badge. And you'd be able to peer assess them. That would then count in their full process. So you're getting students involved in the process along with helping each other as a team. So just some really cool ways that you can use this tool to not only motivate students, but provide them with a plan to actually master that specific concept or skill. And it gives teachers valuable feedback when pulling groups. So I think overall this is a great tool, and I hope to hear some of the cool ways that you find a way to, or finding ways to use this in your classroom.